Hello, my name is Melina Flores, and today I will be talking about a concept that we learned in Module 10, and that is public speaking anxiety and ways you can overcome it. Many people believe that public speaking anxiety isn't a real type of anxiety, and I believe they think this because not everyone understands the way people's minds work. Not everyone understands that people think that when they get in front of an audience that they will judge them for the way that they are dressed, for the way that they look, or for the way that they sound. And they don't want to feel that type of embarrassment. And so that is where public speaking anxiety comes from. That's where it starts. And most people don't know that because they think they are alone in this, and they definitely are not alone. About 15 to 20% of college students experience a high form of anxiety just about communications in general, and about 70% of college students experience anxiety due to the classes that they are currently taking. So you are not alone if you have public speaking anxiety. And in Module 10, we learn about how the 10 best ways that there are to reduce this and how you can overcome this. Today I will be talking about a few of those ways you can reduce public speaking anxiety, and specifically how I use them to help me in this class. When I first enrolled in this class, I was terrified of speaking in public. I had a fear that when I talked to people in public, that they would judge me, or that I wasn't going to do well no matter how well I prepared. I learned that this type of anxiety is cognitive, and it can be restructured, and I can overcome it by using communication orientation modification therapy, which basically encourages people to think of public speaking as a conversation rather than a performance. It means that instead of stressing about talking to a whole group of people, think of it as talking to a person one-on-one, and that helped me tremendously, because I can talk to people one-on-one way better than I can talk to a whole group. So that is one way that I use to help reduce my anxiety. Another way is by making sure that I always prepare and practice. When I first got into this class, I thought it was going to be easy because I knew that all we had to do was talk to videos. So basically talk to ourselves. The audience really isn't there. And on our first assignment, it was basically talking about ourselves and our goals. And I was like, oh, that's easy. I know what I want to do. I know what I'm going to say. I can talk about myself all day. But once I actually started to make the video, it was actually really hard. I kept stuttering, and my palms started sweating, and I kept thinking that people were judging me. And even though an audience wasn't looking at me, I still had this anxiety. And it's because I didn't know what I was going to say. Even though I can talk about myself all day to other people, I couldn't talk about it in a video, and that was crazy to me. So after that, I recorded multiple times, and I finally got it the way that I wanted it. But after that time, I knew that I was going to have to prepare and practice what I was going to say from now on, because if I couldn't talk about myself, then I can't talk about other things. So since then, I do my research a lot earlier, and I make sure that I know everything that I need to know about what I'm going to talk about. And then I prepare it about a week before, and once I prepare it, then I start practicing. And I usually practice in front of either my boyfriend or my mom, because you need feedback from a trusted source. So one of your friends that you trust, maybe even one of your professors, a teacher assistant, someone that you trust, that you think will give you great feedback and reliable feedback, is who you need to practice in front of. And once you practice in front of them, you take that feedback and you use it. You don't don't think that it's criticism. They are really trying to help you, and in the long run, it's going to help you tremendously. So that is another way that I use. I also take deep breaths before I start a video or before I start a conversation. I know that me specifically, or me personally, when I get to talking a lot, my mind starts to think too fast and I start to stutter, and that embarrasses me. So I like to take deep breaths before I even start conversations sometimes, if they're really important. But take deep breaths before you you start your speech, and make sure that your mind is clear, and then your speech will be great. In conclusion, this class has helped me overcome my public speaking anxiety by using systematic desensitization, which means that you become more familiar with public speaking by doing it more often, and that's a way to reduce the uncertainty of it. So the more I do it, the more I do these videos, the less I stress about them, the easier it comes to me, the more confidence I have. By doing this class, when we do these videos, we do peer reviews, and that helps me tremendously, because even though I think that they are bad, my videos are bad, they're not really as bad as they look. So once I put them online and I put them in the discussion and I get peer reviews that I actually did really good, and that I know what I'm talking about, and I get critiqued on what I did wrong, that really builds up my confidence. It makes me feel like I can do this, and that I can speak in front of an audience, and that makes me feel great about myself. So I'm glad that I enrolled in this class, even though I have this anxiety, because I have learned how to overcome it, and just maybe not fully overcome it, but I've learned to reduce it. And I will take the lessons that I have learned from this class and use them every time I speak in front of an audience, or even just in a regular conversation.